All right, we are live. Hey, welcome to HD. This is Dialogue, folks.
It's your man Eddie Ed.
Hey, and we are back with another live, with the first live of. Well, no,
Nah,
you
this
did
is
one
second
live.
live.
Yeah, last week you did one last week.
Yeah.
My first live for 2026. This is going to be a really interesting topic, considering that Alex Hormozi and Tony Robbins have they're big names in the mainstream, and Tony Robbins was on Alex Hormozi's podcast a few weeks back, I think 2 weeks ago, and it was mind-blowing for a lot of people. But we actually did a stream on Alex Hormozi months ago, and we came to a conclusion. You know what, you could go and check out that stream. I might link it in the post edit or whatever, but go check it out. I'm going to reference it today, and it touches on how Alex Hormozi, his journey with Christianity went, where he is now. We gave some insights to what he actually did with Tony 2 weeks ago from months ago. So it's going to be exciting. We are going to dive into what exactly happened in that conversation, what most people actually didn't see, and how this reflects on Christianity, both encouraging us and warning us. So we'll get into that. But before we do any of that, Eddie Ed, do you have any announcements that I missed?
Hey man, make sure you guys subscribe if you are new to the channel and you are enjoying the content. Subscribe. It is free. Yes, indeed. And wait, did you say smash the like button already?
No, I didn't.
Smash that like button, man, if you're liking the content. Let us know, because it's gonna help us reach more people and keep us in the algorithm.
Yeah, I missed all of that stuff. So appreciate it. All right. So cool, man. Let's get into this. All right. So I have a couple of clips for us to watch, and of course, react to. Eddie Ed hasn't watched this one with Alex Hormozi and Tony Robbins, so this is going to be his first time seeing it. Of course, he's not going to see all of it. We don't have that much time. But
what's the dude's name again that is interviewing Alex?
Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins, man. I heard some creepy stuff about him years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, you know. Yeah.
Wow.
I heard some creepy stuff about him.
Okay. Well, we could let's let's talk about that after the show, because that's interesting. We might want to do a reaction to that. Let's see. Hey, what up? What up, Zorro? Natural Burger. What's up? All right, so we're about to get into this clip. I wanted to open up with this clip to, if you guys don't know who Tony Robbins is, this is an introduction to who he is and some of the things that he's done.
Tony Robbins, strategist to some of the most important people in the world, people that you have seen publicly and probably many more haven't seen privately that have impacted your life. And he's both a wealth strategist, but also a life strategist. And so we're talking politicians, royal families, US presidents, Margaret Thatcher, Princess Diana, Andre Agassi, Mike Tyson, just the great.
Mike Tyson.
And he's also published books. He's got 100 plus companies in his portfolio that do north of $7+ billion a year. And as impressive as that is,
it's actually 12 billion now.
12 billion. There you go. I was going to say, I was like, I hope this number isn't wrong. I looked all over the internet. Most importantly, at least for me personally, is that you wrote books that changed my life directly.
All right, so that's who Tony Robbins is. Just wanted to give you guys that introduction. We're going to go ahead and jump into the first clip that I have. And just to give you some context, this clip has to do with who Alex Hormozi is, right? And this is the first time that Tony Robbins actually breaks it down for us to get a good understanding of who he is. And I was like, oh, okay, so it makes sense. So let's go ahead and watch this real quick.
Monday.com,
yeah,
the opposite of any work platform we tried in the past.
Great.
We tried other work management.
And they caught us with an ad.
They caught us, man.
They caught
Most of
us
us in life try to pretend we're one thing. Society makes you try to pretend you're one thing. I'm sure your wife has multiple personalities. My wife sure does. When I first met her, I'd have a conversation and she'd be talking about, I'd be like, who is this person over here, right? I had to come up with different names. And by the way, look at the smile on your face, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I started naming the parts of my wife, so I knew who I was talking with, right? There's Bonnie Pearl, there's Sage, there's some names I can't tell you that are very
Is this Friday night, Layla, or is this Tuesday morning, Layla? Yeah.
But the point of the matter is, we as humans try to reduce ourselves for simplicity's sake, and society does to one thing: it's easier to manage, right? There are many parts of you.
Yeah.
So what's the part of this guy that's so intellectual that, you know, he's going to suffer and he's going to, you know, he's going to get it done anyway? It's not this guy right here. This guy like this guy here. This guy's is this guy different?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just shifted just like that.
Yeah.
Right. So who's the guy who's in his head all the time and is analyzing? Oh, he's brilliant, by the way. He's absolutely effing brilliant. And he can succeed in anything if he has that. What's that guy's name? Give me a nickname for that guy. One that maybe
Analytical
will make you
Alex.
laugh.
There you go.
What's
Analytical Alex.
Analytical what?
Analytical Alex.
Okay, analytical Alex. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's this guy was just laughing with me, looked over his wife, big smile on his face. Your smile is infectious, right? You know, and this is you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so who's this guy?
Anabolic Alex.
Anabolic Alex.
So that part is interesting. If you were looking at his body language, it was really interesting to like see him like a little bit uncomfortable. He was shifting and stuff because he's not used to this.
Yeah. It was definitely you could tell like he got touched personally.
Yes. Okay, cool. Okay.
It wasn't like, you know, like, yeah, it was more intimate. So I guess it was more uncomfortable.
Okay.
But anyway, go ahead.
So keep that in mind. We're gonna switch over to the stream that we did. We did this 4 months ago. We did this 4 months ago in September of 2025. And remember, analytical Alex and anabolic Alex. Analytical is who he operates in all the time. And this was the first time that we saw this anabolic Alex show up in front of camera. So keep that in mind as you watch this stream we did on Alex Hormozi last year.
Variety of reasons, but I'll give you the simplest one. Hopefully I'm not insulting anyone. This is just my belief that I'm sharing, which is one of the strongest arguments for Christianity against other world religions is that other world religions say, like, if you go to the good place, so if you do a good job, you go to the good place, right? And fundamentally, it's a hard paradigm because it means that, like, at what point are you 51% good versus 49%? Should I have just held one more door open and I would have gone to the good place forever, right? Not even talking about like finite circumstance and creating infinite outcomes, but like whatever. And so if you can draw that line, then it kind of makes it ridiculous, right? It like kind of breaks down on the like be a good person system, right? And so that's all worldviews with the exception of Buddhism and Christianity. With Christianity, they're like, you don't have to be good, you just have to have faith. If you have faith in Jesus, then you go to the good place, right? And so the reason that for me, fundamentally, I didn't believe in that was because you actually create another false binary, which is believe or not believe. When in reality is to what extent you believe. It's how hard you believe. And again, you create another 50% line, which is should I believe 1% more? And then I would go into the good place forever, right? Mm-hmm. So anyways, the point is that I studied apologetics for a long period of time. And then I was really sad. And I was just like, being sad.
F being sad. All right. So were you able to like kind of relate to analytical Alex to what he was doing on this podcast? Because this was actually something you brought up in 25.
Yeah, you can see the difference.
Yeah. So he's talking about faith. He's talking about his Christianity, and all of a sudden he brings in mathematical equations. He brings in balance, and it's like you have to do a little bit more of this, and then you're on God's good side. And then if you don't, you're going to hell, kind of thing. And we had that conversation. It was really interesting because I was like, "What is this guy doing?" So a question that came to mind as I was putting this live stream together was, okay, so how much has your wife, Alex, I'm talking to Alex right now, how much has your wife loved you enough, or how much did she love you enough for you to see that you want to marry her? And how much does she have to take away in terms of love for you to be like, all right, it's time for a divorce? Is it 49%, 50%, 30%? And the thing here is people come up with all kinds of things that aren't congruent, that actually don't translate from one part of their life to the other, because you put Christianity on this pedestal to criticize it. You say you guys don't make sense because when you look at it, how much faith do you need to have to make it into heaven? But then you bring it into your own life and you completely shrink it down to my feelings for my wife and how she's shown up for me. That's why I want it. So like he completely annihilates analytical Alex for the sake of making his world comfortable and peaceful with anabolic Alex with his wife. So like it dawned on me that that's how people approach Christianity a lot of the times. They like put Christianity on the wall and just throw a bunch of darts at it and like, yeah, this is the whole, this is the whole. But then you go into their own personal lives and it's like, dude, you don't actually live by any of the standards you just criticize Christianity by. What are
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then people, you know what people do too, is they try to squeeze, you know, what the Bible stands like. They try to squeeze all that makes up. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say like people try to squeeze Christianity into their box when following God is its own box, and they have to get in there to expand in their knowledge and their growth. You can't condense it, because when you put it into your own frame, now it's not Christianity. Now you're twisting things. Now, that's where you get people rejecting clear scriptures when it says it plainly, and they're saying, "Oh no, don't say." Like, so we see that happen in many different facets where people would try to squeeze Christianity into their own way of thinking. When obviously, when you do that, you're gonna get a lot of things twisted, a lot of things wrong, and that's where you get all of these weird, sectors of thought when it comes to the things of God. Like, oh, God can be he or she, like a she or they. It gets pretty crazy.
It does.
So,
yeah. So that and the problem with this, like Idiot said, putting the box of Christianity over here and then your life over here, and then it's like you try to like make Christianity this weird thing because you're trying to fit your box into Christianity's box. The thing about that is Christianity itself, apart from human beings, right? It's based on God's essence. It's perfect. It's because it's true. It's perfect. It's based on his character. It's based on how he sees us in his eyes. So Christianity is this perfect thing. And then you have sinners who have understood the world based on their sinner core, their sinner essence. And then they're trying to like reflect the image of God back onto their lives. Like, this is why it doesn't really fit in my lilife.
Yeah, because based on feelings. Based on this, you remember that one clip I showed you with the one a young lady where she was like, "Oh, if I read a scripture that doesn't feel good or what, then I like take it out."
That's right.
Like, that's what people do. They mold it based on how they feel about it, and that's not landing on truth or standing on truth. You can't do that, because feelings are malleable. Feelings are there one day and there. And not the next minute, you know what I mean? So if you're going based off feelings, it's going to morph by the second.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But if you're standing on truth and you're taking the word for what the word says, then it's going to not change.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's not going to change if you stand on that. But if you say, well, I feel like this should not go here, is that, and that's where we get the type of churches where it's LGBT certified.
You know what I mean? Certified, yeah.
Like, that's why we see those type of churches, because based on their worldview and how they feel about a certain scripture, or whatever part of the Bible they feel like is good or not, is based on the feelings. It's not based on what the word is actually saying, because if it was, they'll know the truth is not what they're practicing.
Yeah. And oh, you said something and I forgot. Shoot, I forgot. Maybe we could come back to it later. But I wanted to jump from. Did you have something else to say before I jump forward?
Oh no, we can go.
Okay. All right. So just to keep things concise here, we could talk about this for hours, but we only have 30 minutes. So considering who Alex Hormozi is, considering that there is a disconnection between his mind, his lifestyle, and Christianity, because there's obviously a big disconnect there. It doesn't make sense. We just talked about that. I wanted to dive into some of the work that he's done, actually, because he's a hard worker, man. Like when they say put your hands to work, And you have a guy here that says, you know, basically screw happiness, screw sadness. I'm just going to get the work done. It spoke to me a little bit. Low key, I was like, man, like it would be good to have that kind of work ethic.
Exactly. And you know, a lot of believers, you know, I've heard this for many years, like where they have the feeling of, you know, how they say the phrase wait on the Lord or whatever. A lot of people just take that and run with it like you're not supposed to do anything. That's not what it's talking about. But and just today in service, you know, we're talking about being a good steward of what the Lord has given you. You know, the parable of the talents, or the I believe the servants, you know, with the talents.
Yeah,
like the one that didn't do anything and now just waiting on his Lord to come was in trouble because he had the talent up to his measure, which was fitting for him, but he didn't do anything with it. And so the whole thing on waiting on the Lord thing that a lot of believers want to use as an excuse to not do anything is ridiculous because nothing is going to come from that. If you have a seed that you're not watering, you're not feeding it so it can grow. That's just plain and simple. If you don't tend to it, it's not going to grow properly or it's not going to grow at all.
Hey,
and that's what a lot of people do, or that's how a lot of people think, you know, that are believers. Like wait on the Lord means to just let him do the magic trick or something like that. Like, no, you have to work hard, you know, until it gets to the point where the hard work you put in is now producing the fruit. And all you had to do is tend to the garden, take a couple weeds out, you know. But when you don't do the hard work to let it shoot out of the ground first, you ain't gonna get nothing that you
man, you just reminded, bro. You it is crazy. You just reminded me of the Genesis verses that God, after he created the plants, the birds of the air, the animals, he said, and let these produce after their own kind. Basically, let them keep multiplying after themselves, right? So, like, when you think of that in terms of us, like, God put in a lot of work that he had to demonstrate to us that after you put in this amount of work, you got to rest because you put in that work. You know what I'm saying? So like when you put in that work, the things that you've created, the businesses that you've created or whatever, they're supposed to continue to produce after itself. You know what I'm saying? Like God can just wow, man, that was deep, bro. Wow.
Yeah, bro. I mean that's crazy. And see, that's how the Lord made it. He didn't make us to just continue working hard the whole time. No, he made it to where it's gonna work itself out. But we had to set it up correctly to where the system works. If you don't have the right system in place, then you're gonna have problems. But once you set it up, now it's
man. Go ahead, because I just had a thought too. Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead,
because
before we forget.
That's what the Lord did. The Lord set us up to multiply.
Yeah.
And therefore it's hold on, bro. I'm gonna take my brain. Hold on.
My head.
It just hit me because the way that the Lord set it up, his system is replicating itself. You know, we are multiplying. We till the land so that it can multiply.
Yeah,
they multiply.
Right,
bro. And then I was thinking about how I'm gonna go into an area that might not be tasteful to a lot of people, but multi-level marketing is actually a God thing because you're multiplying yourselves through other people, but it's all working together because the one that's multiplying through someone else, because they're also going to multiply, which will actually add to the pot. So it's actually a biblical, principle, but it's distasteful to a lot of people because of the hard work it takes, But it actually the frame of it is a biblical frame.
It kind of fits. Yeah. The only reason is distasteful to me is because at the end of the day, I'm kind of building someone else's business, and I'm not that type of person. So like, if I want to quit one day,
I think there's some, that might be another conversation, but
okay.
There's some parts about it that I don't like either.
Yeah. But okay. So yeah, you had wow, that's really good. Oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh shoot, it's okay, it's all good. We don't have that much time anyway, and I still have some content for us to cover. So okay. Oh yeah, it actually, what we're talking about actually speaks to the work that he does, what Alex Hormozi does. So what he does is he takes companies that are making money and he positions them so that the owner should be able to step away from the company without the company crumbling. So if you and I, we built a business to $100 million and we went to him and we're like, hey, we want to explode our company, grow a company. I'm assuming what he does is he takes the systems that you have, he basically automates them so that the system keeps working without you having to like step in all the time. Because he says that any system that has to work because you are the person making it work, it's not a business that's gonna last. You know what I'm saying? Which is true. It's a biblical principle.
It's too much energy.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to play this clip here that he talks a little bit about this subject that we're expounding on. And then we're going to move from there. So it's this one. Let me see if it shares. Nah, I didn't share. Here we go. All right.
Which is the most selfish of all my questions. So you're 36 years old. You have built businesses, and the skill set that you are most proud of is that you're good at helping business owners.
Yeah.
The only thing I feel emotional connection to is teaching young men how to provide for themselves and their families. That's the only thing that actually, because I know that pain.
Yes. So you're connected to it.
That's the only thing.
Makes sense.
And to me, built a lot of the business and all that stuff basically around that. But I still don't feel like that the massive emotional drive. That being said, what would you have played differently from your 36-year-old self to current that you could kind of pass on to me? Basically, what can I change about my behavior to maximize my enjoyment and size of impact?
You have to make your enjoyment a priority, which you've not.
All right. So that right there, you have to make the enjoyment your priority, which you've not. But when you watch the clip that we did of Alex Hormozi maybe 4 months ago, he said, essentially, screw the happiness, screw the sadness, screw the emotion that comes with doing the kind of work that you're supposed to be doing. And so the angle I wanted to approach this from is his work ethic is what God calls us to. But what he decided to do was the work that you're supposed to do is supposed to come with emotion behind it. So the seed that Yet is talking about, God plants a seed inside everyone, some likeness of him inside of everyone, right? And what happens is people have passions, people have the things that they enjoy doing and all of this stuff, but you'll hear a lot that don't turn your passion into a business or else you'll end up hating it. And the problem with that is, why does your passion have to be something that only you get to enjoy for the rest of your life? So what he did was he likes helping young men who I think he said who have families or whatever, make money.
Yeah.
That's his passion. But later on in this interview, which we don't have time to see, he talks about writing checks for kids and all of this stuff, like $2 million checks, and none of it actually impacts him because it's not what he's doing. He's not writing that check for his passion. He's just writing it just to be a good Samaritan, to help kids and stuff, but it's not his passion. It's not what he's passionate about. And so the passion in our hearts is what God calls us to work out into the work of our hands. So if you have his work ethic and you have a passion, I'm pretty sure that no matter what you do, that passion is going to become profitable. And people end up hating their passion because, like we said earlier, they still have to manage that business that they built. Where he's at, you know what I'm saying? Where he's at, he could have his passion, step away, look at his passion, step into his passion whenever he wants to impact, and step away and have enjoyment in it because it's reproducing after itself. He doesn't have to go into his passion and do it over and over and over again. He's built a system for his passion to thrive and exist and impact people without him having to put in all that work. I can't imagine how tired I would be if I had to work every single day.
Yeah, and then it's all on you because that is tiring for anybody, and that's why, you know, a lot of people are scared of business because they don't know that you can do something where it's more automated and is working itself out rather than you spend all the time and energy to work. You know, like that used to be a thing of mine where I thought that's how it, you know, was, you know, years ago until I started learning building systems and you know, having a frame where I'm not, you know, needed to do, you know, like putting the right pieces in place so that the pieces can do the work instead of me as the owner or whatever. And a lot of people are scared of business because they think it's gonna be, you know, them doing everything. And if you build it right, that's definitely not the case. But if you don't know how to do it, of course, you know, that's what you would think, you know. But once you learn how you can actually build those systems, it's like, oh wow, you know, now we're going to the moon.
That's right. So, man, like we unlocked some lessons in this stream. This is probably one of the most impactful streams as far as like the things that's like opening up in my mind. So, like most Christians will never work as hard as this man and his wife. Most Christians will never work as hard as this man and his wife because they believe that God will bring them the things, like God will bless me with money in the future. You know, I can't become a rich person if God doesn't want me to be a rich person. Whereas it's like, where did God
being a rich person is not for me. Like, man, that's one of the most annoying things to hear because it's available for anybody.
Exactly.
What do you mean? What do you like? That's one thing that I keep on hearing in different forms of fashion that I don't understand where they're getting this from. And then people that are believers will stand by it like that's what it really is.
Yeah, they'll defend it, man.
And I'm like, man, if this is where you at, I don't know where else to take you because after I already told you and shown you, it's over. If your mind hasn't changed, you know, of course it's not up to me to change your mind. But if you say you believe the word and I show you in the word where it's at and you still say you don't believe it, bro, I'm gonna have to release my headache. I'm gonna forfeit my my mental energy on this because at this point it's foolish.
You've planted the seed, man. I mean, even the same thing with the gospel. You can't keep going to the same house, knocking on their door, trying to convince them. That's a waste of time. You've already planted the seed. Go ahead and go and plant the next one. That's it.
Man, I'm sure. You know, I'm sure Proverbs has something to say about that.
So the moral of me talking about this in the way that we've talked about it is the fact that his Christianity was actually halted because he was lacking. In the clip that I showed of us doing a stream on him earlier, he was like because he was analyzing Christianity on such a human level, he couldn't grasp it, and because of that he ditched it. So his humanity, his personality was lacking in emotion. And you don't just wake up one day and decide I'm not going to have the emotion of happiness or sadness associated with my work. It's kind of like a part of who he is. So he leaned into that in regards to Christianity because he went into apologetics. I'm going to logically prove to you, but himself in his mind, the logic couldn't hit because you could always argue against even truth. You could always say, this, but when his wife tells him that she loves him and he feels it emotionally, he can't argue with that because he's not in the state of the analytical Alex. He is in the state of he's in the state of being emotional, right? So again, the separate people he uses to play at separate things. Analytical Alex in his work, analytical Alex when it comes to Christianity, analytical Alex in his relationships, but then when it comes to his personal life and his wife and stuff, it's the emotional anaerobic Alex. So in the conversation, he basically asks him in the clip I just played, how can I find this happiness? How do I go about it? And you guys can go ahead and watch the interview yourselves if you haven't. It's pretty good. Tony Robbins basically says the passion that you have is what you should be feeding into if you want this happiness thing that you're trying to get to. Well, there's another problem with that. Happiness is fleeting. You can't attain happiness and hold on to it. So at the end of the day, Alex Hormozi is another human being just like all of us. He's chasing things that he doesn't have, thinking that when he gets it, he's going to feel happy and fulfilled. But that fulfillment, that sense of fulfillment, Tony Robbins, I'm not sure if he's a Christian or not, but the lesson he's giving him.
So.
Okay. Because okay. So he's giving him the fulfillment to continuously chase. And you can feel fulfilled when you do that. When Alex Hormozi decides to help a bunch of young men make money and feed their families, yeah, he's fulfilling something. He's going to be happy over and over and over and over again. But it's fleeting. It goes away after some time. You want to do it over and over and over again. And the only thing that sustains you as far as happiness, it's not even really happiness. It's joy. It's joy in the life after this. So I want to bring up this verse real quick, and I'm going to end on that. And this is King Solomon in Ecclesiastes when he was talking about working so hard in life, and at the end of the day, what is it that you gain? So let me pull it up here. So this is Ecclesiastes 2, verse 15. All right, and he's talking about at 15, he said, Then said I in my heart, as it happeneth to the fool, so it happeneth even to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart that this is also vanity. He's saying essentially the same way the fool dies, the same way the wise man dies. The wise man doesn't die more wise than the fool. He goes on, for there is no remembrance of the wise more than of the fool forever, seeing that which now is in the days to come shall be forgotten. And how dieth the wise man? Asked the fool. We all die the same way. Therefore I hated life, because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me, for all is vanity and vexation of spirit. This is the richest man in the world talking about working hard and making a lot of money. He said, yea, I hated all my labor which I had taken under the sun, because I should leave it unto the man that shall be after me. And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool? Yet shall he have rule over all my labor wherein I have labored, and wherein I have shown myself wise under the sun. This is also vanity. Therefore I went about to cause my heart to despair of all the labor which I took under the sun. For there is a man whose labor is in wisdom, and in knowledge, and in equity. Yet to a man that hath not labored, therein shall he leave it for his portion. This is also vanity and a great evil. So he's saying, as wise as you can be, you're going to leave your funds or your riches or your wealth to someone else. But you invested so much into your mind, into your being, into being able to be this person that accumulates so much wealth, not just money, but wealth. And then you're just going to leave it to someone else who probably isn't going to do the same work that you did. So what are they going to do with the money? That type of thing. That's what Alex is looking at as far as his future. Is he's going to be hardworking, help all these young men, and then when he's ready to pass away, this is going to come up. Like, man, like I'm going to leave my billions of dollars to like my kids, and what's going to happen is probably going to families.
He doesn't even have kids, right?
He doesn't have kids, and that's another thing they said too.
If you don't, if he's not gonna have them, then he ain't leaving them for the kids. What the world is?
Hey, That's one step. But they did say on the thing, like he made a joke, like you should probably have some kids. Tony Robbins said that. So Eddie Ed, final words from you, man, and then we gotta end this.
Hey, stop playing. Stop playing around. Read the word. Everything you need to know is there. You know, Jesus is coming back. So get intact.
All right. Hey, man. Everything I said here in a few words, we just had to make an example of it. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us on this stream. Comment below, comment your thoughts. I know you guys thought something. Comment your thoughts below so that we can read it, respond to it, have a conversation. If you're watching this back, hashtag replay. Let us know you watched it. Let us know your comments below. I know this was a really deep conversation, probably the deepest again I've said. So anyway,
we have more time slicing and dicing stuff.
For real. But yeah, without further ado, guys, thank you for joining us. We're gonna have our next live stream in the next 20 minutes here. So stick around, watch out for that. Hey, it is Dialogue, folks.
It's your man Eddie Ed.
Hey, thank you guys for being with us today. And we'll have to catch you later. Peace.
Peace.